There are two podcast hosts out there in the universe that need a little help getting through this final episode of Christmas Movies at Movies You Miss Podcast. Clarence, are you out there? Nope, he hasn't answered. So I guess it's you and me, V. How are you doing today?
I'm great, John. Do you have your wings yet?
I don't think I'll ever get my wings.
Same.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the final episode of Movies You Miss Podcast, Christmas Movies. Well, the second and final episode. And the final episode of 2025. This is pretty insane.
And the final episode ever.
Final episode. Oh, is this news?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I thought this was going to be some sort of bombshell that I was not prepared for.
I
just
do that
squeezed
too.
King Louie, and he's looking at me like, "The fuck, dude!" I'm like, I thought we were canceling the podcast after this episode. Luckily, nobody can see my face because my jaw was hanging open. But anyway, last episode of 2025 coming at you. Should be a pretty good one. I am excited about these two picks. I hadn't seen V's in some time, and mine I try to watch every year, but I haven't actually watched in the last 2 years, so it was a really fun revisit. But before we jump into that, welcome back, everybody. We are John and V, here to recommend movies to you without spoiling them. One of our favorite things, the Movies You Miss podcast. And it just really kind of blows my mind that this is the final episode of 2025, because next week will be January 1st, and it'll be the first episode of a new year.
It will be. That's a little bit insane to me as well. But not to worry,
Yeah.
John, or any of our listeners, like they say in Deadpool and Wolverine, we'll be doing this till we're 90.
Till we're 90. I still really like Deadpool 3.
Me too.
Yeah, Deadpool 3. Deadpool Wolverine, Deadpool and Wolverine, Wolverine and Deadpool, whatever you want to call it. I know I always called it the incorrect title.
Well, and I think it's really funny because now with the new teaser trailer for Avengers Doomsday and bringing back Chris Evans, everybody's like, till you're 90.
Yeah. I actually did see that trailer when I saw Avatar Fire and Ash. And I'm going to be honest with you, not a single person cared.
No, MCU is truly beating a dead horse at this point.
Yes, they are. But we're not here to talk about that. We will when V sees Doomsday and lets me know if I should see it. I truly couldn't care less at this point. But here we are, again, final episode of 2025. Looking forward to getting into these movies. We've been friends for going on now, 27 years?
Well, now that you're over 40.
Hey, I'm not over. I'm only a few days over 40. I'm not near 41 yet. I got 363 days, I think. Good Lord. All right, you know what? This is the last episode of the podcast. We're moving on after this.
It's good to end on a low note.
Yes, it is. It is, absolutely. No, but anyway, we have been friends for a very long time in the entertainment industry as well, multiple capacities, and here we are to discuss movies that we feel have fallen under the radar, need to be revisited, especially around Christmas time. Both of these movies are, at least my story is a household story. I don't know if this particular version is, but I know that majority of our listeners, I imagine, are fans of your pick this week.
Well, and mine certainly need to be revisited, but speaking of Avatar, I think it's kind of perfect timing to discuss the new movies we've seen in theaters or on streaming this week.
I think that's a great idea, V. Did you see anything over the last week?
I did, actually. All were streaming, but I had a really good time with all three of them. I actually started with a movie called Neighborhood Watch with Jack Quaid and Jeffrey Dean Morgan in it. Jack Quaid plays someone
I've heard
with...
of this one.
Yeah, and Jack plays someone with schizophrenia, and he witnesses a kidnapping, but nobody will believe him because he just got out of a mental hospital. He spent 10 years in one, and he moves in with his sister, Malin Ackerman, actually.
Hey!
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is his next-door neighbor and a retired security guard for a college, so he knocks on his door. And it's just really fun. I love the way they depicted mental health, and it felt like a new take on a story. So I really enjoyed myself. Again, it's called Neighborhood Watch. I streamed it on Hulu, and I think they did a really good job depicting mental illness, too.
Awesome. I do plan on checking that one out before our yearly wrap-up. I am a big Jack Quaid fan, and Jeffrey Dean Morgan's usually pretty reliable.
Yeah, exactly. And I was really excited to watch it after I had seen his previous film this year, Novocaine. We both loved that one. So yeah, it's certainly a solid B+ movie. I had a good time.
Sweet. And can't forget Companion.
Oh, that's right. Gosh, we've seen a lot of Jack Quaid movies this year.
Yeah, it's been a 2025 Jack Quaid year.
It really has. And then the next movie I watched was a Western. I've been wanting to watch it for a little while, ever since I randomly saw a trailer for it. It's called The Unholy Trinity. Pierce Brosnan and Samuel L. Jackson are in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's okay. I gave it like a C, C+. It's nothing memorable, but if you're looking for a newer Western, because they aren't really made as much anymore these days, it's certainly not going to be a waste of your time, and that's also currently streaming on Hulu, so I think my dad would have a good time with it, and like I said, anybody who's a fan of Westerns who just wants a new one to watch, it's certainly entertaining enough. And then because I was on a Pierce Brosnan kick and I've been meaning to watch this movie for quite some time, I went ahead and watched The Thursday Murder Club on Netflix.
Oh, yeah. Amy and I watched that one several months ago. I'm curious what you thought about this one.
Yeah, you did. It'd been on my list for a while, and I was expecting not much just because it's a streaming movie, it's a Netflix movie, but I had a really good time with it. I thought it was delightful.
Yeah.
I'm excited to read the book series now because I've seen this movie, and I cannot believe the cast that they got on this movie.
Know.
Because first you're looking at the stars of this movie, Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Ben Kingsley, and then people just keep showing up throughout the film and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And so that was really fun. David Tennant was great in this movie. I love when he plays characters like that. And yes, I just had a great time with it. It's currently on a nominee for my Best Movie to Watch with Your Grandma award that we give out during our recap episode. So I was surprised at how good this movie came out because I thought it was just going to be another forgettable streaming movie. It's solid. Right. I gave it a good B+, A-. I had a really, really fun time with it, and I would totally watch it again.
It is rewatchable, and it is very light, but absolutely a entertaining flick. I completely agree. Amy and I really enjoyed it.
And I'm really glad that you had watched it before, too, because it had reminded me to keep it on the list and give it a watch before our recap episode.
Hell yeah.
All right, so what are the movies you watched this week?
I went to the movies 3 different times this last week, and my shtick apparently here is to do the one that I liked the least, although all 3 of these movies, this one that I'm going to talk about first, I didn't hate, but it is certainly not the best movie of the year and will likely fall into the forgotten bin at some point. I went and saw the new quote-unquote reboot of Anaconda starring Jack Black, Paul Rudd, Thandwe Newton, and Steve Zahn.
Oh, I was really hoping this movie would be funny.
Oh, it's definitely funny. I laughed the entire hour and a half, and it actually had a lot of great moments and a lot of nostalgia moments for me because both Jack Black's character and Paul Rudd's character are best friends that grew up together and made movies together in high school. So I had my group of friends and I, that's all we did in high school. So it was very reminiscent of that for me. And it's just out of control, ridiculously stupid, but there are a lot of laughs, and it had a little bit more of a story than I thought it was going to have. So I would give it like a C+, but again, I think it's going to be a forgotten movie, and it is certainly not the best of the year. It'll likely be a could miss for me. Not a should miss. It's not that bad.
Okay.
But it's definitely a could miss, but still entertaining at the same time.
I like you. You said it's out of control and totally ridiculous, and I go, okay, so the original Anaconda.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, there's some moments that I was just kind of like, oh boy, but then there were other moments where I was laughing out loud, so it was a good time.
Okay, well, I'm glad you didn't waste your time with it.
Definitely not a waste of time. Second movie that I watched over the last week, a movie that I had seen the trailer for a few times, and I have become a big fan of this actor over the last year, especially with his turn as Bob Dylan last year. I went and saw Timothée Chalamet in Josh Safdie's Marty Supreme.
I'm hearing nothing but great things about this film.
And they're all correct. It is definitely one of the best of the year. It is 2.5 hours long, but it flies by. On top of Timothée Chalamet, Odessa A'zion is great. Gwyneth Paltrow has maybe 15 minutes of screen time. Nothing new with her as an actress in any other movie, but it is a very, very well-written movie. It's shot fantastically. Acting from Chalamet is just top-notch. I certainly know that he will be getting another Oscar nomination. I hope that he pulls out the win for this one, because this is another based on a true story flick, and it was really fascinating. And I know it's a loosely based movie as well, so there's certainly things in the movie that I'm like, did this really happen?
Yeah.
But overall, it was 2 thumbs up. I had an absolutely great time. My only qualm with it is that it's set in the 50s and the soundtrack is from the 80s, and I just don't understand why that's done.
Oh.
We all know Baz Luhrmann has done that several times and it's worked, but not like it didn't work here. It was just a little strange. Like I was anticipating a little bit more of a 50s style soundtrack, but it was more 80s driven. But overall, the movie is definitely a 2 thumbs up. Absolutely worth seeing. Completely worth your time.
Oh man, what a missed opportunity to really immerse yourself and the audience into that time period by picking the right era music.
Absolutely. Completely agree.
Bummer. But I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's good.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely liked it. The theater was packed. Everybody seemed to have a good time. Highly recommend.
Good.
Yeah, and the last movie that I saw was a complete slam dunk surprise out of the park for me. I liked the trailer, and I really like Amanda Seyfried, and I've never been the biggest fan of Sydney Sweeney, but this movie, The Housemaid, is so badass and so awesome. I absolutely loved it. I highly recommend checking it out. I guess it's based on a series of books. Amy's about to read the first one now.
Oh.
It was awesome. I loved it. Sweeney was great. Amanda Seyfried was awesome. The guy that plays Amanda Seyfried's husband was also great. Paul Feig directed, and he did Bridesmaids and A Simple Favor and Ghostbusters, so we all definitely know his resume. This movie was awesome, and the next day that I saw it, I had a bunch of women at the bar throughout the day that were on their way to go see it, and they had all read the book, and I was like, I'd never read the book, but I love the movie, and I completely enjoyed the hell out of it. Highly recommend seeing The Housemaid.
What genre would you put it in?
Absolutely a thriller, 100%.
How gory is it?
It's not very gory at all. There are a couple of moments with some blood, but it's not like some crazy bloody movie at all. It's more of a dialogue, psychological thriller.
Cool. Okay, well, it's on my list. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. I think you would enjoy all 3 that I saw this week. Definitely Anaconda the least, but it's, Housemaid was kick-ass.
Great.
Hell yeah, movies. It was really refreshing to see the theaters as packed as they were over the last 2 weeks. I gotta be honest. It was great seeing families go and people and couples go. And the cool thing about my current occupation at the bar is there's a movie theater upstairs from where I bartend. And a lot of people will come and have a cocktail or two after or before their movie. And I'm always like, oh, what are you guys going to go see? And a lot of times I've seen the movies they're about to go see, or they come back and tell me if I should go see it. So it's pretty cool. I've told them about the podcast. I don't know if they've listened to the podcast, and they have not come back. So no, not even to, no.
That was hilarious. So it's either the drinks you're mixing or the fact that you're pushing our podcast. One of the two is driving them away.
I'm going to go with the pushing of the podcast part because I am a heavy pourer and I know people definitely enjoy the drinks I make. But anyway, I think it's time to get into the final week of Christmas here at Movies and Miss Podcast. V, are you ready to live again?
I certainly am.
Sounds good. Let's get Clarence down here to give us a hand with this episode.
Well, first we need to roll back several decades, 80 in fact, because tomorrow is the start of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
And my movie was released in 1946.
That is nuts. When I pushed play on it on Amazon, I thought it was from like 56 or 66. So when I saw that it was 46, damn, this is... And I gotta mention, so glad that I found the black and white version because there's a stupid-ass colorized version on Amazon that pissed me off. The credits were opening, I'm like, wait, whoa. When I saw this in theaters, this was black and white, so I Googled the correct one and found the correct one on Amazon. All right, moving on. It's your turn.
No, thank you very much for bringing that up because that is something I was going to mention. Not only is there now a colorized version of this movie, which is blasphemous, how dare they?
Yes.
But also the free Prime version. So if you don't actually have a Prime account, the free version that's streaming for anyone with ads cuts a bunch out of the movie. And
I heard that too.
It apparently makes no sense to people because it's a very crucial aspect of the movie in the last quarter of it. Which why would you edit out that part versus I don't know, the little bit in the beginning you could but also why edit it out at all?
Why cut any of it? Yeah, this is
ridiculous.
One of those movies that does not need cutting down.
No, and it's a classic.
Classic.
And
what movie are we talking about,
because,
by the way?
I am talking, we are both talking about the Jimmy Stewart starring classic Christmas film, It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for those of you who haven't had the pleasure of watching this film yet, I will say it is a Christmas classic. Highly recommend. It didn't start out as one. In fact, it did not make much at the box office. It was a $3.7 million movie, which was very expensive for the time.
Mm-hmm.
In its first box office run, it only earned $3.3 million. This did not become a Christmas classic until it started airing on TV every Christmas. And then it became very popular. And now, of course, everybody talks about it. It's well regarded. It's on a lot of great lists, and which I'll get into in a little bit. But it didn't start out that way, which I thought it was very lucky that it had this nice resurgence, similar to Labyrinth or Clue or some of the other cult classics that I love. It's always nice when there's a second life given to a great movie.
Definitely.
And this certainly is one. I love the message of this film. It starts out with two celestial beings talking about this man named George Bailey. And this movie takes place between 1919 and 1945, and it goes through George Bailey's entire life. And at first it seems like he is a rather unremarkable man, and to him, he has led a rather unremarkable life.
Mm-hmm.
But these two angels, one of them is named Clarence, the other one is named James. They start going through his life from the very beginning, and in fact, it goes back to when his younger brother was 9 and he was only a couple of years older, and they and their friends were sliding down a slope of snow onto this pond of ice, and unfortunately, his little brother breaks through the ice and almost drowns, and George Bailey jumps in to rescue him. His little brother is named Harry, and does. He saves him from drowning. Unfortunately, George loses hearing in one ear, and that becomes a little bit of a plot point in this movie. And things continue on, and George is actually working at a pharmacist now, and he's probably a couple years older, but still a teenager. He's helping the pharmacist run the shop. Unfortunately, this pharmacist has just gotten a telegram saying that his son has died. This is during the great influenza outbreak in the beginning of the 20th century. And so the pharmacist is making some mistakes, and unfortunately, he makes some pills, and they're full of poison. And George notices this and realizes that he cannot make this delivery, and saves the patient's life and lets the pharmacist know. And so things continue on this way throughout George's life as we review it. He is a really ambitious young man who wants to travel and see the world. We jump forward to him graduating high school, and he's going to spend his summer between high school and college traveling around Europe, and he's so excited to go and see all these different countries and cultures, and then he's going to come back and go to college and become basically an architect. He says he wants to build great big things, skyscrapers 100 stories tall. He's so excited about his life. But unfortunately, before he's supposed to leave for this trip to Europe, in fact, the night before, his father has a stroke. And so he makes the decision to stay with his family and help them out. This leads to his father passing away, and now he's been home for an extra couple of months, has skipped the European trip completely, and now it's the night before he's supposed to take a train to college. And again, something dire happens where the Bailey's family business, which is Loan and Building, is about to be sold and into receivership because his father is not there to run it. And George takes it upon himself and agrees to take over because this horrible old man, very similar to the lead character in your movie, actually.
Very.
His name is Henry Potter, which is pretty funny.
Yes. Henry Potter.
But now George is staying yet again in this small town in northern New York in order to help other people and help his family. And that's really a big theme of his life. He keeps pushing away all of his goals and his dreams to help other people. And at one point he meets this lovely young woman named Mary and falls in love with her. And so we continue to go through his life, and now he's got kids and he's running the business pretty well, but they're eking by because he and his uncle, their main motivation and goal is not to just make a bunch of money. It's to help their friends and neighbors and the fellow citizens in this small town, while Henry Potter is in his big mansion scheming and trying to continue to buy up different things and businesses and properties in this small town. Oh, he's kind of like the bad guy in Roadhouse too.
Yeah, definitely.
The very classic robber baron, real estate mogul douchebag that is in many, many movies. And unfortunately, something happens where George Bailey and his business are now in a pretty dire situation. A major mistake has been made, and there are some very serious consequences coming his way, including potentially jail. And George has finally had it. His life has not gone the way he wants it to go. He's never been able to travel outside of this small town to experience life the way he wanted to. He's not only desperate, he's depressed, he's angry, he's scared. And he does what I think is an understandable thing to do in this situation, which is he contemplates suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where Clarence comes in.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite intro lines for Clarence is when they both end up in a very icy river. They are able to be rescued and get out and end up at the guy who runs the bridge and lifts the bridge up when a ship comes by and stuff. They go into his little cabin area and dry off, and Clarence has had some very old undergarments, right? And
yeah.
The guy running the bridge just goes, "Wow, those are pretty old." And he goes, "I know, I passed away in it."
Yeah.
They're like, what? Clarence has some really great little one-liners that you wouldn't catch if you weren't paying attention. It's a lot of fun to listen to him talk. And really what it comes down to is George Bailey is so upset, he wishes he's never been born. And so Clarence gives him that wish. And now George has to look at all of the people in this town and what their lives would be like if he had never been born.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the plot of It's a Wonderful Life. I love the message so much. I cry at the end every time.
Mm-hmm.
I think there are great little aspects of this film that make it wonderful. I'm going to say that a lot, but that make it wonderful more than just the message. And I know the very end of this movie is so famous, and so is one of the lines, but there's so much more to it than that. I love when he and Mary are first starting to court each other, and he says that he'll give her the moon, and she draws this cute little cartoon of George lassoing the moon, and they keep it throughout their lives. And I think that's so delightful and such a great little memory that they both have. I love Annie, who is their housekeeper and cook for their family when he's growing up. She's so sassy and hilarious. And a little detail that I'd never caught before, the policeman that George is friends with and the taxi driver, who George is also friends with, their names are Bert and Ernie.
I did catch that this time around, yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
That is pretty good.
Yes, and there's some great behind-the-scenes pieces of trivia to this movie. It is directed by Frank Capra, who is a legendary director who has directed some fantastic classic films that we still know to this day and will recognize by their titles. I love this film. It was introduced to me actually in my 20s. By my ex. I had never seen it as a kid growing up. It's not a film that was played during Christmas in our household. My grandma hadn't really introduced me to this film before either. And so it took a little while for me to get into it, but I love it now. And like I said, I think it has a great message. And it's one of those films that I like to watch when I need a pick-me-up. Mm-hmm. Just to feel like you still have some control of your life. There's still things to do, and you are important, and your life is meaningful, and what you do has impact and meaning as well. So I'm very happy to pick it for the very last film of the year this year, and I hope you enjoyed your revisit of it.
I did enjoy my revisit of it. Thankfully, like I mentioned before, watched the black and white version, not the colorized version.
Yes, thank God.
This was my second time watching it. The first time, I actually got to see it with Amy. We went and saw it at the ArcLight down on Sunset Boulevard.
Perfect first viewing.
Yes, I believe it was in 2017, 2018. It was a minute ago, and I think Amy had seen it before, but it was my first time, and I certainly remember crying a lot. And when I told Amy that this was your pick for the final episode and I was going to go watch it and asked her if she wanted to watch it with me, she said, "No, I don't really feel like sitting next to you while you cry for 2 hours." And I was like, okay, that's
brutal.
That's great. Yeah, very.
I should have come over and we could have watched it together and cried together because we never judge each other.
We could have. Exactly. But much to my surprise, I didn't cry this time watching it all that much. I cried the most during the moment when young George is telling his pharmacist boss about like how he knows that he feels bad and he knows that he didn't mean to make this mistake and all that kind of stuff. That scene really got me this time around when I watched it. The end, it hit me, but I wasn't bawling my eyes out like I was the first time. I also did have a bit of an internet issue that day, so it took me about 2.5 hours to watch this movie because of buffering issues, which really started to make me very angry. And I think I texted you, I said, "Where's Clarence when you need him?" Regardless of all of that, the movie is still great. I love the music. I love Jimmy Stewart in it. I completely relate to Jimmy Stewart, especially when he goes home after the bombshell that has just been dropped on him about his uncle having lost that $5,000 or $7,000, $8,000 $50, thank you. And he's just like losing his mind, and he yells at his daughter to stop playing the piano, and just like, why do we even have kids, and all this stuff. I don't have children, but I have been in that moment in my life. I think everybody has, so it's a very relatable scene. It's a very relatable scenario, and overall, though, it is very funny also. And the moments where Clarence and him are in Pottersville, which is, well, it's called Pottersville because George no longer, or has not yet been born, and everything is completely different. Nobody knows who George Bailey is, and all of that stuff. I love that kind of thing. You're seeing another side of a life that you, or the character that we're experiencing this story with, is now completely unbeknownst to anybody else. And I thought Jimmy Stewart killed it. I thought the guy that played Clarence was great. And even the guy that plays Potter, he was awesome. He reminds me of Charles Durning. If they ever remade this movie in the 90s, I would imagine Charles Durning would be Potter. Just a great revisit, and I think it was 10 minutes into the movie, I texted you and said I got the 4K on the way right now. So I own it on VHS, but I have actually not watched the VHS, and I got it right after we saw it at ArcLight. We went over to Amoeba, and I picked it up on VHS. So I have the 4K on the way, and it is definitely going to be a every year watch for me, because the 4K is the black and white version.
Oh, thank God. And yes, I will say you didn't cry this time because you're over 40 and now dead inside.
Well,
welcome.
That's partly true.
Also, $8,000 back in 1945 is $145,000 today.
Good Lord.
Which would also make me want to jump off a bridge, so I get it.
Yeah, I would definitely be... That would be problematic mental health-wise if that ever did happen to me.
Yeah, it would be a little rough. And yes, I am so sorry that you had some buffering issues. Nothing is more frustrating than trying to watch a movie and it keeps stalling out. It's like, what am I paying you for?
Exactly. Which is why I ordered it, so this never happens again.
This is why physical media is so important.
Mostly physical media. Yeah, I really don't watch a lot of movies on streaming because of that potentiality happening, and it did happen this time.
I picked out 6 DVDs for my father that my sisters and I bought for him for Christmas last week, and
perfect.
I thought of you.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you would like all of the ones we bought him
I was going to say, what are they?
Nobody, the first one, not the second one.
Oh, great.
Obviously. Dungeons and Dragons, Sisu.
Oh, that's right. I think you actually did tell me about
I was
going to
say, I think we talked about this. Sorry.
Yeah, we did. No, all great picks, absolutely.
He was happy with all of them, which, of course, makes us very happy.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Prey and Lawrence of Arabia. And Gentlemanly Warfare. Yeah.
Yeah, you did that's a really good haul.
Yeah. I'm stoked that Prey is now on physical media, though, because it originally was released on Hulu.
One.
Yeah, you really have to. Oh, I'm so excited for my dad to get Prey. Yeah, definitely. Anyway.
I got 2 good 4Ks for Christmas. I got the Monkey.
You did? Yeah.
My sister got me that. And my parents got me the 85th anniversary of The Wizard of Oz on 4K Steelbook. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, which is so funny because I have a very small tie to The Wizard of Oz in a piece of my trivia that I'll talk about in a little bit.
Oh.
Yes, which is now a couple weeks in a row that we've had little Wizard of Oz connections in our movies.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you love this film too, and seeing it in ArcLight must have been amazing. I've never seen this in theaters, but I bet there will be an opportunity at some point, especially next year. I'm wondering if Fathom will have a re-release because it'll be the 80th anniversary.
Oh, I hope so.
Oh, wait, now that I think about it, Fathom always plays this movie every year. I can totally go and watch it in theaters whenever I want. Every year they play It's a Wonderful Life at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
So for any of you listening, if you want to watch this film, not only is it available on Amazon Prime, but you can wait and watch it in theaters for like $10 when Fathom Events comes around.
Hell yeah. Totally be worth it.
It would, yeah, I totally agree. And not only do we have some connections to The Wizard of Oz in the last couple weeks, but also a reminder that in last week's pick of mine, Home Alone, this film was actually playing in the McAllister house.
Yes, that's right.
And there are a lot of pop culture references to that. This film is often playing on TVs in different movies.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember. When I was watching it this time around, the whole, do you want the moon? I'll throw a lasso around and bring it down for you. I know it's in a movie that I really like, and I feel like it's...
Bruce Almighty.
There it is. Thank you. I was like, what movie is it? I thought it was Stranger Than Fiction for a second, but Bruce Almighty. That's it. There you go.
But yes, that line is delivered really well by Jimmy Stewart. He's perfect in this role.
Oh, yeah.
And this is the second movie we've done of his because in our very first year, I picked Harvey.
Yes, Harvey.
He was in many great films, several of which will be on our podcast in the future. He was in Flight of the Phoenix, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, which he's very serious in that role. It's very different for him.
Never seen it.
It is a Western, so that makes sense.
Okay.
He's in several Alfred Hitchcock movies, which is cool since we just talked about Hitchcock a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He's in Anatomy of a Murder, Vertigo, Rear Window. He won an Oscar for The Philadelphia Story.
Oh, yeah, that's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. He is also in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And the original The Shop Around the Corner, which I really want to watch.
Hey, yeah.
That is the movie and story that You've Got Mail was based on. I think you should watch that with your mother.
Yes.
Given how much she loves You've Got Mail.
Yeah, Amy's a big You've Got Mail fan, too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So The Shop Around the Corner with Jimmy Stewart. We got to give it a try.
Indeed.
And Donna Reed plays Mary, his wife. Though she had a pretty good career, she was only in a couple other credits that I really recognize. First and foremost, From Here to Eternity. And then also she was in The Donna Reed Show from 1958 to 1966.
Wow, I don't even know who Donna Reed is.
Well, she's the actress who played Mary in this movie, but...
Oh.
I'd never heard of The Donna Reed Show before, but maybe some of our older listeners had because it was on for 8 years.
That's awesome. She was... Ooh.
Yes, she really reminded me of Olivia de Havilland, actually. The one who played Married Marian in the Robin Hood movie that I showed you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the one guy from back in the day.
Errol Flynn, yeah.
Errol Flynn, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Very.
And Frank Albertson plays George's best friend, Sam Wainwright, in this film. Frank Albertson is also in Psycho.
Is he?
He plays Tom Cassidy, the rancher who brings in 40 grand in the very beginning of the film, which is the whole start of the plot, which is actually the MacGuffin in Psycho, the 40 grand.
There you go. Yeah, and he's hitting on both the receptionists in the office.
Yes, and it gave me an opportunity to mention a MacGuffin again, which made me really happy.
There you go. And I did figure it out. I did Google it. It was Bruce Almighty. Jennifer Aniston is watching that scene. That's why he does the whole moon lasso thing.
That's why he does it.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't remember that part. Yes, I just remember that he did it, and then he ties it to their balcony railing. It's awesome.
I think, for some reason, I feel like it was also in 500 Days of Summer, when the narrator's talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt's characters, like, he learned about these through movies and stuff.
Maybe It's a Wonderful Life was playing in the background through his childhood montage?
Yeah. I'm pretty,
That's possible.
Either way.
Well, like I said, there are a lot of references to this movie in pop culture, including being a movie in a movie. So I would not be surprised if some of our audience think of more instances where they've seen a clip of It's a Wonderful Life when watching another film.
Yeah, let us know.
And the man who plays the evil slumlord in this film, Henry Potter, he's played by Lionel Barrymore.
Oh, okay.
He was born in 1878. He is the older brother to Ethel and John Barrymore. John Barrymore was Drew Barrymore's grandpa.
Oh, cool.
Drew Barrymore comes from a big line of actors. Lionel Barrymore not only was he an actor, he was a prolific composer. And
really,
there's a piece of trivia about him that I'll save to the very, very end of my conversation, only because I think it's a perfect lead-in to your movie.
Okay.
So now I get to tell you that this movie was written by a husband and wife writing team, which is so cool.
Ah.
Frances Goodrich and Albert Hackett were married for decades until her death. They also wrote Father of the Bride 1 and 2 and the original from 1950.
Wow.
And that movie starred Spencer Tracy, Elizabeth Taylor, and Billy Burke. Billy Burke is the woman who played Glinda in the original Wizard of Oz.
Oh, very cool.
And Frances Goodrich and Albert Hackett also wrote Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, The Virginian, and The Thin Man. So they wrote a lot of great westerns as well, which is really cool.
Yeah, very neat.
And as I said, Frank Capra directed this film. We've done a movie of his before. You have, in fact.
Yes, indeed.
Because he directed Arsenic and Old Lace.
Mm-hmm.
Great film.
Great movie.
I haven't seen it since our episode a couple years ago, so I think I need to watch it again.
Oh, I watched it about a month and a half ago when I got the Criterion edition of it.
Nice.
So good.
I bet that's sharp.
Yeah. Oh, it looks great. It's the Blu-ray. I thought it was the 4K, but it's the Blu-ray. But it still looks amazing.
Well, especially because there are several scenes in that house at night that when I watched it a couple years ago for the episode, it seemed a little too dark. And being remastered, I bet it looks great.
Oh, it definitely does, yeah.
When those two guys come into the house and the ants are running around.
Oh, yeah.
Cary Grant's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Oh, God.
Such a great movie.
Such a great movie. So Frank Capra, not only did he also direct Arsenic and Old Lace, but he also directed It Happened One Night. He won the Oscar for Best Director for that. Mr.
Nice.
Deeds Goes to Town, which
Yeah.
Adam
The
Sandler
OG.
remade that movie.
And it's fucking hilarious.
Never seen it. He also won the Best Director Oscar for that movie.
Oh, wow.
And You Can't Take It With You.
Ah.
He directed Jimmy Stewart in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Awesome.
Yes, so Frank Capra was great, and there might be another film or two of his that get thrown on the podcast, especially Mr.
I hope
Smith Goes
so.
to Washington.
Definitely.
And I don't know if you noticed, but this film was actually produced by RKO Pictures,
I did see that, yes.
a very classic studio back in the day in the golden age of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
RKO Pictures also gave us Citizen Kane, your
Yeah.
previous pick of King Kong, the
Yeah.
original. Gunga Din, Fort Apache, which is a John Wayne movie.
Ah.
Bringing Up Baby, which is a previous pick of
Hey.
mine with
Perfect.
Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn. Howard Hughes bought RKO Pictures in 1948, and unfortunately because his deterioration with his OCD, the studio only lasted about another decade before it declined so much they had to basically sell it off for parts, unfortunately, which is why we don't have RKO Pictures anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so about It's a Wonderful Life, there's a couple pieces of trivia about this movie that I absolutely love that I was really excited to share with you. First and foremost, the set for Bedford Falls was constructed in 2 months and was one of the longest sets that had ever been made for an American movie.
That's badass.
It covered 4 acres
Whoa.
at RKO's Encino Ranch, so this was filmed in Southern California, which means
Awesome.
all the snow was fake. Probably asbestos.
Asbestos.
This set included 75 stores and buildings, a main street,
Whoa.
a factory district, a large residential and slum area, because we had Potter's Fields.
Right.
The main street was 300 yards long, 3 whole city blocks, which is how
Wow.
Jimmy Stewart could run up and down it through several pieces of this film.
Yeah.
Which was really important for the story, so I'm glad they built the whole set.
Yeah.
But yeah, badass. Back in the 40s,
That's
they built that.
pretty intense.
Yeah. I wonder if they ever reused any of it for future films or just tore it all down. But one of the buildings is actually a run-down old mansion at the beginning of this film. And in the scene where George and Mary are first starting to date, they walk by this old mansion that's completely dilapidated. And unfortunately, as many teenagers do, I remember there were buildings in my hometown where we did this as well.
Mm-hmm.
Super broke down, completely cordoned off, nobody's in them, and teenagers pick up rocks and throw them at the windows.
Yep.
Apparently that's universal. And
Yeah, it is.
when George and Mary walk by, apparently you're supposed to make a wish and then throw a rock, and if it hits a window, your wish will come true. So he does it first, and then Donna Reed is expected to do it. She was a woman in the 40s, so of course they underestimated her, and Frank Capra had hired a marksman to shoot out the window on cue. But Donna Reed was a great baseball player in high school, had a strong throwing arm, and she broke that window in one take.
Hell yeah. That's great.
That's
well,
really
hopefully
cool.
the marksman got paid at least.
Well, he showed up to set, so I bet he did. But
Yeah, there you go.
Donna Reed would have been great in A League of Their Own.
That's true.
she could
Yeah.
Uncle Billy is unfortunately not super reliable. George really has to run the business himself and be the responsible one. And there's a moment where Uncle Billy leaves George's house. When he closes the door and walks outside, offset, there's a big crash. And it sounds like he had stumbled into some trash cans or something, and he yells off screen, "I'm all right, it's okay."
Yeah.
And James Stewart's laughing about it. Well, it turns out that a crew member had dropped a large tray of props.
Oh,
And both James Stewart and Thomas Mitchell went off script and completely ad-libbed the rest of that scene in response to that noise.
that's
And
awesome.
Frank Capra was so happy with it that not only did he use this take in the final cut of the movie, but he also gave the stagehand who dropped the tray $10 as a bonus for improving the sound,
Awesome.
which is not something that usually happens. If you are a PA or somebody who's quote unquote nobody on set and accidentally make a noise when they're shooting, you usually are going to get yelled at, if not fired.
Yep.
Instead, he was given that bonus, which is $160 in today's money.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's lucky. Sounds like Frank Capra was a nice director, because can you imagine if like David O. Russell or Quentin Tarantino or somebody?
Yeah, seriously.
He'd be blacklisted.
Big time.
And this was the first movie that James Stewart filmed after World War II. He was actively suffering from PTSD and depression due to his service. He was a real soldier in World War II. And Jimmy Stewart actually told friends that he related a lot to George Bailey and was really happy to be playing the role. He said that some of the scenes where George has to act out in anger, and there are several scenes where you are shocked by Jimmy Stewart being this angry because you're not used to seeing him this way. Jimmy Stewart actually said this was really cathartic for him and really helped his struggles with mental health after World War II, which I'm really happy to hear, especially back in the day. There, of course, was not a lot of support for returning soldiers. Still isn't, unfortunately, but at least there's a little bit more conversation around mental health versus in the 40s. I can't even imagine. PTSD wasn't even an acronym yet, because I know for the soldiers in World War I, it was just called shell shock.
Yeah.
Because of that, Jimmy Stewart was really nervous about the first kissing scene. It was his first on-screen kiss since his return to Hollywood after World War II. He was really unsure of himself. Frank Capra helped him because they filmed the scene in only one take and it was unrehearsed.
Oh, wow.
Well, later Frank said that it worked so well that part of the embrace and the kissing was cut because it was too passionate to pass the censors. So it sounds like Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed got along really well and had good chemistry together, and thankfully he felt safe enough to get back on that horse, as it were. And because of Jimmy Stewart's positive experience with this film, he actually had said that George Bailey was his favorite character that he ever played.
Oh, nice.
But that Harvey was his favorite movie.
Very cool.
So I've accidentally picked both of Jimmy Stewart's favorites out of his career.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
So happy to. It is on not only IMDb's top 250 movies ever, it's number 21. It is also number 20 on AFI's top 100 movies ever.
Oh, wow.
And AFI also ranked it as the number 1 most inspirational movie of all time.
Very cool.
Yeah, so that is It's a Wonderful Life. Highly recommend you revisit this film if you haven't seen it in a while, especially because so many of our listeners might have seen it back when they were kids with some adults in their family and maybe haven't revisited since then. It certainly holds up 80 years later, and it's a great movie to watch if you need a little bit of pick-me-up, if you need a little bit of inspiration. Just promise us that you will watch the black and white version.
Yes, always watch the OG. Can't believe they colorized it. That reminds me of that old Family Guy episode. I can't remember who the character is, but it was like, I gifted the whole world something. I colorized the moon. And there was like a nod to the fact that whoever this guy was like colorizing black and white shit. Like there's I Love Lucy that was colorized, and so many things in the early like 50s and 60s that were still shot in black and white were color. I think it was, I don't even want to pretend to know his name, but yeah, it was a Family Guy joke, and it's getting more and more relevant as I get older.
Well, and I think the only film that should be colorized are reels from wars. The World War I documentary by Peter Jackson called They Shall Not Grow Old. That is
I want to see that
solely
still.
Colorized World War I footage is incredible, and it humanizes all of these men. I love it so much. Highly recommend.
Sweet. Well, maybe you should put it on the list.
Yeah, although we don't really do documentaries here because there are no behind the scenes trivia.
Yeah, that's true. There's not.
This is the one genre we don't really do on this podcast, unfortunately. Even though we love watching them throughout the year.
Yes, we do.
Which
I'm still ahead of you.
We will talk. Yes, you are. It's only temporary. I have until February, and that will be our 2025 recap episode. And it might be a two-parter given how many movies John has watched this year.
Yes, indeed. That is true. Coming up on 100 in the next week or two, I think.
Lord. Plus the 100+ movies you watched for our episodes of the podcasts.
That's very true.
You have probably averaged about one movie a day, including all of the movies you watch for pleasure beyond those.
That's true.
All right, so that is A Wonderful Life, and now it's time to turn the mic over to John. In order to do so, I will leave you with this piece of trivia that Lionel Barrymore, the man who played Henry Potter in this film, the old miser, not only was he an actor and prolific composer, but in the 1930s, when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt was asked if he thought Lionel Barrymore was the greatest American actor, FDR replied, "I am the greatest actor in America," because both were super famous from the radio, FDR with his fireside chats, and Lionel Barrymore with his annual broadcast of A Christmas Carol in which he played Scrooge.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Yes, let's do it. Let's jump 53 years into the future to the year 1999. And like you said, the connection to my movie this week is that Lionel Barrymore was Scrooge on the radio. And just like every year, I do a rendition of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
Of DuckTales, because we're talking about Scrooge McDuck.
Hey, there likely is a DuckTales version of A Christmas Carol. There is a Mickey's Christmas Carol, and it's only like 27 minutes, so that might be my pick next year because I think I'm starting to run out of renditions of A Christmas Carol.
I would allow the miniseries with Guy Pearce that came out in 2019.
I gotta watch that one still. Is that the one that's like the man who created Christmas or something like that?
No, it's Christmas Carol. It's streaming on Disney right now.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Well, I think, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, cool. Yeah, we could do that, but this is not a miniseries show.
Too.
I still have to do George C. Scott's.
You've got
one.
a bunch, several years worth of this movie. Don't worry.
I would say like another 3 or 4,
Just
maybe.
keep picking
like good ones.
The Muppet version. It's fine.
I was gonna say then we'll just have to
I'll allow
recycle
it.
back to Muppet Christmas Carol.
That's fine.
Which I absolutely watched this year while I was wrapping my presents for my family because you can't not. Anyway, moving on. Christmas Carol. This version, like I said, comes to us from 1999. Based on the Charles Dickens novel, which I've read now 3 different times, and we all know the story of the first time I tried to read it when I was at a bar, and some stupid drunk couple came up to me and asked me if I could take their picture. Anyway,
they're probably broken up. Don't worry about it. Move on.
I have a feeling that they definitely are. Anyway, this rendition of A Christmas Carol is written by Peter Barnes. He was a writer mostly for television, and most notably, other than this one, he wrote the Sam Neill, Helena Bonham Carter version of Merlin.
That, speaking of miniseries, that is a fantastic miniseries. I highly recommend
Yes,
it.
it
Made me
is.
fall in love with Sam Neill even more so than Jurassic Park, and it's so unfortunate that it's a miniseries because I would totally pick it for this podcast.
Oh, hell yeah. No, it's so badass. I think I rented it like 6 times from Blockbuster and then finally just bought it one day at Best Buy. Or like made my parents buy it for me because I really did like it a lot. This version for TV is directed by David Hugh Jones. He was a television director. He did a bunch of episodes for Medium and The Practice and stuff like that. But the crowning achievement of this rendition of A Christmas Carol, very similarly to A Muppet Christmas Carol, we have Michael Caine, and we've also done the Jim Carrey version, and we've done the Scrooged version with Bill Murray. This version stars Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart as Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge.
I've also done Spirited.
That's right, you have done Spirited with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, which is a take on A Christmas Carol.
It is.
So look at that, you've done a take on A Christmas Carol.
I have. I'm sorry I took it away from you since it's your tradition now, apparently.
No, it's totally fine. I hadn't seen it yet, so you had to introduce it to me. But like every year, I still am introducing you to a new rendition of A Christmas Carol, and this one is no exception. Like I said, this one stars Patrick Stewart. This also stars Richard E. Grant as Bob Cratchit and Joel Grey as the Ghost of Christmas Past. We have Desmond Barrett as the Ghost of Christmas Present. And as similar to every other rendition, we don't have any idea who's in the cloak of the Ghost of Christmas yet to come. So we have those names in this. This one also stars Ian McNeice. He's been around for quite some time. He was in the original Dune, and he was also in Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, if you recall him in that. V.
Oh, yes. The moment he came upon us in this version of A Christmas Carol, when they're going through Ebenezer Scrooge's past, and he pops up. God, I love him so much. And he's, Mr. Ventura, we really should be going. Our plane is waiting for us. Fine, let's do all the things that you want to do. And my sister and I still say that quote all the time.
So darn good.
I cannot wait for our Ace Ventura episode. It'll be so
Neither
fun.
can I. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait. Oh, boy. But Ian McNeice plays Mr. Fezziwig, a very prominent character in Ebenezer Scrooge's life. This is our 3rd year of the podcast, and I guess, no, 4th? This has to be our 4th, because I've done Muppet Christmas Carol,
well, it's
Scrooged
our 4th
Christmas Carol.
December.
Okay, so 4th December. That's right, yeah, because we started early of mid through 2022.
Exactly.
Okay, so 4th December, 4th rendition of A Christmas Carol. What can I tell you that you don't already know about A Christmas Carol?
Even
Ebenezer
if you've
Scrooge
never
is an
seen
asshole.
any of them, you'll know just from John's repeated summaries.
You know what's interesting? I should go back and listen to all 3 episodes again, even the Scrooged episode, and just see how similar I explain all 3 of these movies.
Actually, I would look into which one you explained the best.
And
what you're still forgetting or leaving out. Because I bet there's some things that you could add.
I don't know if there is. I really don't. Because this is one of the most famous stories. This story was published in the 1800s. Like I said, I've read it now a couple of times, and I really do enjoy reading it. I also I've mentioned this before, but I played Ebenezer Scrooge when I was in 6th grade on stage for the school play.
Worth mentioning again, though. No worries.
Always worth mentioning. Yes, I'm hoping that I can find the VHS in my sister's garage and I can rewatch it and just relive my acting abilities when I was 8 years old.
I'll need to be there for that.
Yeah, oh, definitely. If I can find it, you better believe we'll sit down and maybe do mushrooms or like smoke a joint or something and watch it and just laugh our asses off.
I don't need any drugs to laugh my asses off if I'm watching you at 8 years old in a play.
I do. But anyway, Christmas Carol. Ebenezer Scrooge, miser. He's similar to Potter in It's a Wonderful Life. He is a loan officer, basically a loan shark, and just busting people's nuts about them being late on their rent and their mortgage, and he's a big fan of evicting people, and he's just really about collecting his money. And he's not very nice to anybody, including his Bob Cratchit, who's his assistant in this business. And we also find out that he's not nice at all to his closest family relative, his sister's son, his nephew. His nephew is a very happy guy, invites him to Christmas dinner, and Scrooge is just, why are you so happy? You're poor. And his nephew's like, well, Uncle, I'm in love and I'm getting married. He goes, well, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely stupid. Why would you do something like that? Why would you do that? Because if anything, the only reason for living is to make money and die a rich man. Even though we all know you can't take it with you.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've mentioned that here a couple of times, and I think you just did. There's a movie like they can't take it with you when you die, a Jimmy Stewart movie. Is that right? Or did I hear that incorrectly? Or was that Frank Capra directing a movie like that, or You Can't Take It With You, or something like that?
Oh, yes. Gosh, I'm sorry. I wasn't sure where the hell. Yes, he won an Oscar for Best Director for the movie called You Can't Take It With You.
There you go. And Scrooge, 7 years ago, this very night, Christmas Eve, has ended up losing his business partner, Jacob Marley. So Scrooge is on his way home after closing business and telling Bob Cratchit that he can have the day off for Christmas as long as he's early the next day because time is money, etc., etc. Scrooge goes home. Scrooge sees Jacob Marley in the knocker, gets into his house, and is now visited upon by Jacob Marley, who tells him that if he doesn't change his ways, he's going to end up a very lonely, very angry, if not angrier than he is right now. And that he's going to be visited by 3 spirits, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come, all in one night by the strike of midnight. And good luck to you, because Jacob Marley is also covered in chains and locks, and those chains and locks are really what kept Jacob Marley from also living a very fruitful and very happy life when he was alive.
I built these chains link by link.
Yeah.
Favorite line
and I gotta say,
of any of these movies, and I always wait to see how that line is delivered. And also when you said when Jacob Marley appears in the knocker, the only thing I can think of now is Young Frankenstein, where he's like, ooh, nice knockers.
Nice knockers.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. Yeah, of course. Terry Garr, good stuff.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. No, always great to revisit Young Frankenstein whenever possible.
Yes.
Jacob Marley's ghost is played by Bernard Lloyd. He was a television actor for some time. I gotta say, he was a really great Jacob Marley. And I would say most Jacob Marleys are good. Now, in the Muppet Christmas Carol, it's those 2 old heckling men, which is great, and they do have a great song. And it's very entertaining, but as we all know, the Muppets are a little bit more on the funny side, even though Michael Caine is playing it like they are not puppets, which is why the movie's so freaking brilliant. But this version with Bernard Lloyd as Jacob Marley, I really liked his portrayal of Marley, and he was a little creepy. I still think the scariest version is Gary Oldman in the Robert Zemeckis Jim Carrey version, because that one is still the scariest version of A Christmas Story, or A Christmas Carol, excuse me, that I have certainly seen.
I agree.
So what happens at the strike of midnight? Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by the first spirit and taken through his past, and then also taken through his present and the Christmases yet to come. And I did actually forget to mention that his nephew Fred is played by Dominic West. Very young 1999 Dominic West. And it was really refreshing to see this portrayal of Fred done by him, because Dominic West is majority of the time the prick of the movie.
Yes, I thought it was very weird casting, and it felt wrong because I've seen Dominic West over the last 25 years being, as you love to term them, a giant prick bag in all the other movies we've seen him in.
Yes, he is certainly a PB. Absolutely.
So yes,
but I really liked him in
casting.
this. His turn, the turn of being the jolly one was great, and I really enjoy the Ghost of Christmas Present taking him to his nephew's house and then playing the game and seeing Dominic West be a jolly guy and not so mean and angry. It was refreshing to me.
Yeah, it just wasn't that believable. I don't know. There's a lot of other guys they could have chosen for that.
Yeah, but again, this is 1999, and Dominic West was not very big at the time.
You know who would have been perfect in that, though, in 1999 is Matthew McFadden, the guy who plays Mr. Darcy in the Pride and Prejudice movie.
Yeah, or the Mercy Killer in Wolverine and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Wolverine, or the third Deadpool movie. Yeah, McFadden would have actually been pretty good, definitely. And I guess Dominic West is a little bit, I don't want to say he's too handsome, because even in the Muppet Christmas Carol, Fred is a good-looking dude.
But it's the dark hair, it just seems out of place.
Yeah, all right. Okay. I still like him, but I can understand your reservations for the casting in this one.
Thank you.
And so anyway, for the rest of the movie, we get to watch Ebenezer Scrooge, played fantastically by Patrick Stewart, go through a very significant change. And it is a great retelling of a very popular story throughout history. And now the fourth retelling of A Christmas Carol that I've done here. And I remember watching this for the first time on TNT, because this is a TNT-produced movie.
It is. I remember it coming out.
Which is pretty sweet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the cinematography is actually really good, too, as is the music.
Yeah.
And there are moments with Patrick Stewart in this movie that are so fantastic, especially towards the end of the movie, where he learns to do something again that is... absolutely
so
hands down. No, it's amazing. I love it. You thought it was awkward? Oh, I thought it was fantastic.
Well, because I didn't know what was going on. I think if I've seen it more than once, I would love the scene.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I guess it does throw you off for a few minutes, like, oh God, is he about to croak over and this is going to be a different retelling of A Christmas Carol?
I was very worried.
Yeah. Well, I do love it. This is, I think this is the fourth or fifth time I saw it.
Owl coughing up a pellet.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, I guess. Sure, an owl coughing up a pellet. Great. Anyway, yes. So, where the hell do I go from there? This. Anyway, Christmas Carol, 1999, Patrick Stewart starring for TNT. I very much enjoy it. I have the DVD. I've had the DVD for the last maybe 15 years, and I've seen the movie about 6 or 7 times, and this rewatch was a lot of fun for me. So I know this was your first watch of this retelling, so I'm curious what you thought of it compared to the others.
I really like that we found a story that we're really excited to see all the different renditions of, to compare and contrast and just see which pieces of it we like more than others. Unlike all of the Peter Pan retellings, which most of them suck, A Christmas Carol has so many versions that are really great, and I wouldn't begrudge anyone for this one being their favorite one, or the Jim Carrey one being their favorite, etc. They've all each have their own wonderful pieces, and that's how I view A Christmas Carol now moving forward. The different versions that we've watched, I really like picking up which parts of it I like more than others and vice versa. And for this one with its opening, first and foremost, I was really excited to see Patrick Stewart in this role. I think anytime he's in a more classical role, his readings of Shakespeare's sonnets during the pandemic brought me so much peace. Oh, I loved every single one of them. His voice is incredible. And so I was really excited to see him in this role. And I love the first scene in this movie where they're talking about dead as a doornail. And what does that even mean? Like, where'd that come from? And I really love those types of conversations. And so that was a really fun intro to this story. And I am
inclined to believe that a coffin nail is the deadest piece of ironmongery in the trade. I love that. And that's actually ripped from the novel itself.
Yes. And I really love the speech to his nephew in the beginning of this film. I think he delivers it really well. He has such, I love this word, but gravitas. He is so
definitely
perfect for this role. I really, really like him in it. I have always have an ear out for someone saying good afternoon, of course. And so it was lovely to hear that as well. I just want to say, the Ghost of Christmas Past is fabulous.
The long hair and the gown and everything.
Not expecting
Joel
it.
Grey.
Joel Grey was great.
He was pretty awesome.
And Richard E. Grant is really good too. He's been in so many, he's had so many good roles. I loved him in The Death of a Unicorn this year.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That was fun. And Patrick Stewart is a force. In fact, my favorite scenes of this film are him by himself. I think that this film suffers from not having a strong supporting cast to up-level and really bring it like Patrick Stewart did. I think that is the weakest point of this movie, is that he's just head and shoulders above so many actors in this film. They couldn't really carry it along with him, unfortunately, and so he does a lot of the heavy lifting. But him by himself, I loved every single scene, every single monologue.
Oh yeah,
I could listen to him read the phone book, and it would be fine. And he's just so good. So I would put this above Scrooge, the Bill Murray version, but below the Jim Carrey version, just because I think the Jim Carrey version was more consistently good, and the voice acting they had with Colin Firth and Cary Elwes and other people, Gary Oldman, as you said, I think just brought a stronger film from start to finish. Whereas I think that Patrick Stewart puts on an acting clinic in this movie.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Really entertaining to watch. Don't get me wrong. It was great to see him in this, and I really need to watch some of his old London theater performances where he's in Shakespeare plays, and so that was really fun. But there is a moment that I think that my favorite line that he delivers in this movie is when he says, "Forgive a stupid old man who doesn't want to be left out in the cold anymore."
Yeah.
And I love the way he delivers it, because his heart is breaking and he's so vulnerable and he's scared that he's pushed too many people away for too long. And there's just so many layers to that line. He does it so exceptionally well. And so, yes, I loved watching him in this role. I'm so glad I've now watched another version of this wonderful story. And the question I had for you in watching this movie, because there have been so many versions made, but it's been a few years since the last version was. Like I said, I think the Guy Pearce one out in 2019 was the last one. So if you had to cast Ebenezer Scrooge today, who would you cast?
Oh, gosh. That is a loaded question for sure.
You could think about it while you talk about the trivia, and we can get back to it.
Yeah, let's come back to that one.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I couldn't give you an answer, honestly, because I haven't seen the Guy Pearce version. And it's weird because the versions that I have seen, I feel like everybody delivers a great Scrooge.
Right.
I think out of the 4 now that I've done, Scrooged is the weakest, but it's still a good retelling of it.
Well, yeah, because it has Carol Kane in it.
Well, yes, and Karen Allen. But it's also more on the comedic side of anything than any of the other retellings, because this is not supposed to be even really that funny of a movie.
No, and so think of older actors.
That's what I'm trying to think of now.
The
like
trivia. Yeah.
Brian Cox would be awesome.
Oh God, yes.
Brian Cox would kick ass.
Casting choice.
That is an inspired as Ebenezer Scrooge. 100% Brian Cox.
You kick my pick's ass for sure. Nicely done.
There's that show Outlander that Amy watches. I think you're a fan of too. Graham McTavish.
Yeah, he would be really good.
I think he would be a pretty good.
But I mean, Brian Cox was Ebenezer Scrooge in Succession, so it's kind of a perfect choice.
I haven't seen Succession, but yeah, I think he would definitely. Brian Cox would be awesome.
Yeah.
Another old like an older male actor that off the top of my head that I could think of right now would be just for shits and giggles, Larry David.
Only if it was a Muppet one.
Yeah, put
so
Larry
ridiculous.
David in the Scrooge role like Michael Caine and have him not be so Larry David. I think that would be pretty cool. Because I know Larry David can act outside of Larry David.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So who's yours? I'm curious. You said mine was beats yours with Brian Cox.
Totally.
So who do you got?
I was thinking Alfred Molina.
Ooh, he could be a good one.
Yeah, because he's got a
Doc
little...
Ock?
Yeah.
He would be cool.
I think he's gotten a little bit older, and he's got that anger simmering underneath, and I think he could be really good. I was thinking Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, that would be cool.
And then because he and David Tennant are such good friends, having
David Tennant?
having one of them play Scrooge and then the other one playing either Jacob Marley or the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh, yeah. That could be cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I like your picks and you like mine, but I think out of everybody, Brian Cox would be the kick-ass version.
Yes, totally agree.
Absolutely would be fun.
He's still alive. There's still an opportunity to make another version of this film.
That's very true.
John has another pick in the future Christmas episodes.
Absolutely. That was cool. I enjoyed going through that little rabbit hole. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
But speaking of casting for Ebenezer Scrooge for this TNT production, Patrick Stewart, he was very big with Star Trek Next Generation at the time. And TNT, of course, they nabbed him. I don't know for how much. I don't even know what the budget was for this movie because it was a TV movie.
Yeah, it's
so we
hard to
don't
find
have
that.
any information on that, unfortunately. I did try to find it, but I could not. But Patrick Stewart did a one-man show of A Christmas Carol during the 90s in the U.S. and in the U.K.
I would
watch
the shit out of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, my God.
It was
That's
supposed
exactly
to
what
be...
I was talking about. That he carries.
One of the greatest things to ever grace the stage. I can only imagine how incredible it was because he played every character. He didn't just he didn't just act to nothing. He somehow managed to. I think they said he did it with mirrors or something like that. One way or another,
Jesus.
he was able to be Scrooge and the Ghost of Christmas Past, and then the Ghost of Christmas Present. It just I can only imagine how amazing that was for people to get to experience that.
I really hope that's on YouTube, and as soon as we're done recording, I'm searching for it.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely. If you do find it, you'll have to let me know.
Oh, well, I'd be happy to. Yeah, for sure. We could watch it together.
Hell yeah. Now, this being the fourth rendition of A Christmas Carol that we've done, and the it being based off the Charles Dickens story / novel, there's a line that Ebenezer Scrooge... there's the line that the Ghost of Christmas Present says to Ebenezer Scrooge during the whole will Tiny Tim live situation. And the ghost ends up saying to him, and I wrote this down because it was pretty poignant, and it's actually only been used one other time in the George C. Scott version of this movie. Ghost of Christmas Present, if Tiny Tim will live, the ghost utters these words to Ebenezer Scrooge. If man you be in heart, not adamant, forbear, that wicked can't until you have discovered what the surplus is and where it is. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be that in the sight of heaven you are more worthless and less fit to live than millions, like this poor man's child. Brutal. And of course, Scrooge is a brutal bitch.
Yes, and there's a great meme that comes around every Christmas that says, it's time for several billionaires to be visited by 3 ghosts tonight.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I agree. I mean...
Good Lord, that'd be amazing.
Even though the story was written back in, 1836 or something?
It was published in 1843.
Even though it's been almost 200 years now, 180 years, still as relevant today as it was when it was written. And that's why I love that you bring this story back every Christmas with another version, because I think it's important for us to be reminded of it.
I completely agree with that. This retelling is actually the first live-action appearance of the tormented ghosts since A Christmas Carol from 1977. And the 1977 version has Michael Hordern as Scrooge. Now, I haven't seen this one, but from what I've heard, it's actually pretty good. This also was one of the first Christmas Carol stories to use computer graphics, other than A Muppet Christmas Carol, which had a little bit of computer graphics in it. And there's the scene where Scrooge looks out of his window after Marley leaves and he sees all the tormented ghosts. And instead of there being horrific wails and moans from these ghosts,
right,
it was replaced by an instrumental piece called Wandering Ghost by Stephen Warbeck. It was written to describe everlasting distress.
Ooh.
That seems creepy in this one. And it's only somewhat creepy but kind of comical in the Muppet Christmas Carol, but terrifying in the Jim Carrey Robert Zemeckis version.
Absolutely.
And I did mention, I believe I might have mentioned it last year too, but Jacob Marley was born in 1783, and he died December 24th of 1836.
Oh, that's right. That's where I got 1836 from, because his headstone says 1836 at the beginning of this film, because it actually opens with Marley's funeral.
And this was actually one of the fewer versions of A Christmas Carol that actually opens with the funeral of Jacob Marley. Sometimes they don't want to include that because it might be too disturbing for people. And this one I do kind of like because it's Scrooge and the two guys at the funeral home, and they just have a shot, and they, of course, like you said, there's monologues in this movie, and after the two men leave, Scrooge, he kind of goes off on, here's to life, here's to you, my friend Marley. But the way it's done is there's still a coldness and a real insincerity to it. It's really strange. Ebenezer Scrooge is one of those characters. Yeah, exactly. It's like, I wonder if the Grinch is somewhat based on, it has to be, like you think about it, the Grinch is very much like A Christmas Carol. Like at one point, Ebenezer's heart does grow 3 sizes at one point or another.
That is true. I think that their motivations and their histories are a bit different because the Grinch was actually shunned by the townsfolk and he is just very sad, whereas Scrooge is motivated more by greed than anything else.
Yes.
But yes, I think their experience on Christmas is very similar and they have a nice character arc as well. So I think the parallel is certainly warranted.
Yeah, I think so. And this is one of the only versions of A Christmas Carol, and it's happened, I think, 2 other times, where Ebenezer Scrooge actually kills the ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah, that was messed up.
Yeah, definitely messed up.
I like the Ghost of Christmas Present too. He's always
I always do. He's always
favorite.
A jolly, fun.
Yeah, he seems like a forest god, right? I really
Absolutely.
like that aspect of him.
And I remember when I was in the play, the Ghost of Christmas Present was played by my friend back then. Her name was Elizabeth, and she was really good as the Ghost of Christmas Present. I honestly cannot remember. Oh, no, I do remember who played the Ghost of Christmas Past, though. It was this little blonde girl, and she was good, too. Granted, this was like 1997, so if I watch it again, it's probably going to be like, Ebenezer Scrooge, you were a miser, just reading the lines, and I was the star of the show, so I kicked ass, but no, I have no idea if I really did or not, but I'm really curious to find it.
Maybe Patrick Stewart took inspiration from you, given that his movie came out in 99.
Yeah, exactly. On December 5th of 1999, actually, 20 days before Christmas, which is pretty cool, it aired on TNT, and up until, I think at least now, because I don't have cable television, I don't know anybody that does, it certainly did air for quite some time. And I did mention before, I could not find anything about the budget or the success of this. Needless to say, it did do pretty well on DVD. I do have a copy of it. I don't know how many other people out there in the world do have a copy of it, but it is a great retelling. I'm glad you had a good time with it. Patrick Stewart, as always, kills it. And that was one thing that I regretted about working on Star Trek Picard was I didn't have a chance to talk to him about the production of this movie. All I really got to talk to Patrick Stewart about was his pit bull dogs that he really, really loved.
Oh, he's such a good rescue advocate. I love his social media content. He seems like a really good-hearted person. He's so good in this role. I'm so happy that we have this version of his, and I wonder if Ian McKellen would be good as an Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ooh. Ian McKellen as Ebenezer Scrooge and Patrick Stewart as the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yes.
That would be pretty cool. Because they are best friends. They've been friends for decades.
Yes, that would be a lot of fun.
Sweet. And make Ian McKellen not so Gandalfish. Just keep the short hair.
Patrick Stewart as Jacob Marley and Judi Dench as the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Ooh, that would be pretty cool. Or Helen Mirren.
Yeah. All
Helen Mirren.
female ghosts.
Yeah,
let's do that.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
And Divine Joy Randolph as the Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yes, I support that casting.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be a lot of fun.
All right, we're putting it out there. That is the dream casting of John and Vee for the next A Christmas Carol rendition. Get to it, people. So that is my version of A Christmas Carol, December 9th, 1999. If you care to check it out, I believe it's streaming on Amazon for rent. I don't think you can actually watch it for free.
Yes, it's only a rentable movie right now, unfortunately.
Yes. But it is on TNT and TBS streaming app if you have either of those, or you can watch if you have a DVD copy.
I think if you have cable TV, you can watch it on demand because my parents have DirecTV, and I didn't even look, but I bet I could have watched it on demand.
Very cool.
Anyway, you can try that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it a try. Certainly worth it. Well, we have come to our final episode of Christmas week. and of 2025. Sadness indeed, but next week I think it's going to be pretty awesome. But before we get into all of that, because I haven't done my but before we yet here on this episode, V, would you watch It's a Wonderful Life with your grandmother?
Of course.
All right.
I remember watching older Christmas movies with her, just not this one, but I do remember watching White Christmas.
Oh, hell yeah. I love White Christmas. Amy and I try and watch that one every year. We didn't get to it this year. We were way too busy.
Already on my list for a Christmas movie. Don't you dare choose it.
Well, if it's on your list, then I can't.
Oh, thank God, because I'm really pulling from the back recesses of my mind for Christmas movies.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have to start doing that too. Although, I do have a sequel to Christmas movies that I could do next year. So I think I'm going to...
The Santa Claus 2, right?
Yep, that's
Hell
it.
yeah,
Santa
do it.
Claus
Oh,
2.
that'd be super fun. I support
Yeah, it'll
that
be
choice.
Elizabeth Mitchell in a G-rated movie other
She's
than
great.
Running Scared.
Oh, I love Elizabeth Mitchell.
Yeah, she's great.
Oh,
And
sorry.
yes, I have watched A
Did
Christmas
you
Carol
watch A Christmas
with Patrick
Carol?
Stewart with my grandmother.
Sorry.
That's all right. Yes, I have. I think the first time I watched it actually was at home on Christmas with my entire family. So
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Okay.
it was a fun memory to have.
Yes, it's certainly not as scary as the Jim Carrey version. I would actually say, even
No.
though the Jim Carrey version is motion capture, it actually is much scarier than this version.
It is, yeah. It's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. Muppet Christmas
Awesome.
Carol is still the most digestible, though, and accessible
Absolutely.
by all ages.
All ages, absolutely.
And I
Great,
still
great
argue
rendition.
that he deserved an Oscar nom for that film. Michael Caine killed it.
He really did, yes. I love when Kermit's like, "Oh, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, sir," and he goes, "Then you can gift wrap the eviction notices." Such an ass. Oh, it's great. Good stuff.
I still argue that they need to remake Beauty and the Beast, where everyone is a Muppet except the Beast, who plays a human, and then he gets turned back into a Muppet.
That's pretty cool. That would be a fun way to go about that story. I could be into that.
Disney, if you're listening, that's the kind of live action remake we need.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we have come again to the end of our 2025 episodes and our final week of Christmas. Next week, we are going to start things off with a bang, as we always do, and I'm excited for this next week because, boy, oh boy, are these two great freaking flicks. V, are you interested in telling our audience what you're beginning 2026 with?
I absolutely am, and since Avatar has just come out, I am going to pick a James Cameron movie. And like you said, and like all of you know, we love starting off our years with kick-ass action films, so I picked the sequel, another sequel of James Cameron's that I love because I previously picked Aliens.
Yep.
I picked the sequel starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, and one of the most inspiring, strong female roles I saw when I was growing up, played by Linda Hamilton. God, she took, similar to Sigourney Weaver, took such a cool turn in the sequel to this film. I am talking about Terminator 2: Judgment Day.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
King Louis loves it too. And you can watch Terminator 2 if you either have a Paramount Plus subscription or a Netflix subscription.
Oh, all right.
If you have Paramount, I highly recommend that streaming service only because their sound is so much better than Netflix.
Yeah, I can second that. And I will be watching my 4K copy of Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Oh, yeah.
And it turns out we're actually doing action sequels next week for our first episode of the year. So, John, do you want to tell everybody what movie you picked?
Oh, do I ever. I am choosing one of the best superhero sequels to ever exist. Written by Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan and David S. Goyer, directed by Christopher Nolan, starring Christian Bale and the magnificent Heath Ledger. This is The Dark Knight.
I haven't seen it in a couple years, so I'm really excited to jump back into it.
I just saw it, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, released in theaters.
Yeah, because they re-released all of Nolan's movies in theaters, right?
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch this one again. I have the trilogy on Blu-ray. I don't have it on 4K yet, but I am so excited to rewatch it. It'll be my 3rd time watching The Dark Knight this year, and it never gets old.
It'll actually be the first time watching that movie in 2026.
That's very true. Beginning 2026 off correctly.
I agree, and we hope you all agree too, and are looking forward to that episode.
Yes, and if you do care to follow along and rewatch this movie with us, it is streaming on HBO Max.
Oh, good. I will say I think Disney has the highest quality streaming, and then HBO is a close second, and Netflix is down at the bottom.
Oh, Netflix is awful. But yeah, HBO Max is great. Paramount Plus is good. Amazon's got a lot of good 4K and good sound as well. So yeah, they're coming around.
Yeah, they are, which is nice.
Well, all right, sweet. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for joining us all through 2025 and these fantastic picks of ours. We do look forward to doing our 2025 recap coming up in February. I'm going to try and hit 120 new movies seen in theaters or on streaming this week. This year, last year, whatever.
That also means we may be doing a 2-parter episode of the recap of 2025, so stay tuned for that.
Yes, definitely stay tuned. Please do rate, review, subscribe, follow us on all social media. Keep us in your hearts. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you guys next year. But before we see you next year, V, film is a form of art, and in art, all opinions are valid, except if you think...
The Golden Globes should have added a Best Podcast category.
Yeah, and not nominated us.
Yeah, if they ever nominate us, I'll retract that, except if you think.
Perfect.
Okay. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. See you guys next year. Cheers, everybody.
Bye-bye.